Well, that's a developing story that we're going to continue keeping tabs on. Now, 12 million children in Kenya face climate and disaster risk. This is according to the Kenya Sub-National Children's Climate and Disaster Risk Model, a report compiled by the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry in conjunction with the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF. During its launch in Nairobi, Principal Secretary for Environment and Climate Change, Festus said the model will be a game changer in providing evidence-based information for strategic climate change adoption and possible interventions.
Despite Kenya's minimal contribution to global greenhouse gas emissions, the country experiences significant impacts from climate change. The Kenya Subnational Children's Climate and Disaster Risk Model, launched in Nairobi on Tuesday, shows of the 12 million Kenyan children facing climate change and other environmental risks, about 2.4 million in 7 arid and semi-arid counties are at high risk.
Climate change and other hazards impact these child-critical sectors. For example, when there's a flood, I think recently we saw schools had to remain closed because the dangers were too high or the infrastructure was destroyed.
We need to start engaging the children in such meetings because we, the children, we are left behind. We feel left out because if we are left out, we are the ones who are going to suffer.
Principal Secretary for Environment and Climate Change, Festus said through the model, possible intervention measures will be put in place to cushion vulnerable groups in the mapped-out counties.
I strongly encourage all stakeholders, including development partners who are here, to consider these findings when designing programs and projects aimed at addressing the children's vulnerabilities.
UNICEF Country Director Shaheen Nilofa, in acknowledging the exclusion of children in matters climate change, noted that the launch of the book, which is in line with the resolution of UNICEF 6, also intends to marshal for funds from different stakeholders to help in humanitarian aid,
so that we are able to make a more comprehensive dent on the ecosystem that impacts children, and how we are able to ensure that our children inherit a livable and a more flourishing.
Partnerships will work. So could we get youth-led initiatives or youth-led organizations in those particular counties that we can work with, share, brainstorm on ideas on what is it that we need to do for those counties and for those children that are vulnerable.
The model enables stakeholders to understand the climate and disaster risk levels children and their communities face in Kenya and the suitable interventions. Opito Chemtai, Good Morning, Kenya.